For all my actors, this is what I would say. This is from actor to actor. Never stop doing the work. Never stop working. You're always learning. Sitting at the bus stop, you're learning. Sitting in a waiting room watching different people, you're learning. Go to shows, learn. Watch TV, learn. Watch movies, learn. You're always a student of what's going on. So even I've been acting my whole entire life. There's still things that I'm continuing to add to my arsenal of acting skills that I didn't have before, that I do have now, that have grown me to become a better performer and a better actor. So you're not just stagnant in being who you are or who you think you are right now. There's potential for you to be even better or even greater.
Welcome back once again to The Fade. Everything Fade to Black 2025. I am your wonderful host, Brandon Morgan, and I'm sitting here with our illustrious guest, also my friend, my partner, my player partner, Joseph Joe P. Palmore.
Yeah.
Clap it up. Hold on, one more. I think they want to clap some more. They want to clap some
They're
more.
doing the standing ovation. Hold on. I gotta wait for them. All right. All right, yeah. Go on, sit down. Go on, sit down.
Joe, it's good to see you.
Hey,
good to
man,
have you
it
here
is good
on
to
the
be
Fade,
seen,
bro.
brother.
Good to have you here, man. So, without being too formal, I'm gonna try to be as formal as
this
possible.
is funny. So
This,
go.
It's
We're
not like
informal
I've
right
never
now,
had a
Brandon.
conversation with
What
you
you like
before.
this?
Once again, what is your name and who are you to the people in the world?
Like he stated earlier, my name is Joseph Joe P. Palmore. My parents named me just Joseph Palmore after my father, who is the Joe Palmore, or Big Joe, as some people call him. My name, the nickname that I took on since I was a little kid is Joe P. Everybody used to say, oh, that's little Joe P. They were trying to talk about me being my dad's son, but to describe me, that's how I was describing. To 10th grade, my name was, oh, that's the son of Joe and Yolanda, the preachers. Okay, so it wasn't until after 10th grade that I got my own name as, Joe P. So as Joe P is an just flat out short way of saying it, an artist, actor, poet, director, stage manager. Yo, my name is Joe P, and I am the assistant director of Beatbox, a rapper. It's a story. It's not just you coming to a hip hop concert and you're just gonna hear a lot of woo 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 woo. No, it's actual story to this that you see in many other plays that you attend and that you go to. And the fact that the ensemble chose to do a hip hop theater play is what garnered my interest. It's two of my loves is hip hop and theater, and combining them both. So something that I indulge in every day, which is hip hop music, and just my lifestyle and the culture that I love, and it's infused with something that I've loved doing my whole life, which is theater. So to be able to come and put those two things together and work in that environment has just been an awesome thing. So my hope is that they come with an open mind, open ears, and that they take away that hip hop is about telling stories. I do it all within the confines of the arts, from working the churches, working with theaters, working with large scale productions, music wise, just all around. Love being around the artistry and curating and performing and depicting great work.
Man, I must say, as a witness to mostly 80% of those things, man is a consummate professional at most of these things, man. So yeah, man. Let's just get into it. So the Fade, we are all things Fade to Black 2025.
This
so
is nice.
Let
me say that first.
Hey,
this
man,
is nice, bro.
Hey, Fade to Black. We are fading.
Y'all
as
fading
black,
up.
fading up to black. Amen. Fading up
Y'all
to
got
black.
some equipment. I can look here.
Look, wait, talk to the people.
You know, I'm hey, how y'all doing?
Let them
how
know.
you doing over here? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, that
So,
just lets you know we ain't got somebody running back and forth with a camera. Like, we real professional
It
up here.
is happening, man.
It say sure in the back of these mics. Because we sure we got money.
Well, you know, black people are known for, you know, establishing that we like the finer things of life. You know, I like to say just luxury items. If you must. But
fade to black.
Fade to black. Speaking of fade to black, like, what is your specific role in Fade to Black 2025, if you have one?
Well, I'll start off by saying that I've been a fan of just Fade to Black, just as an onlooker or as a person in the audience that has gone to the plays and the reading series and things of that nature. So I've always watched Fade to Black and Denise and those that help Denise with what she does from afar and up close by, you know, participating in some things. But for this actual particular venture that we're taking on, which is the festival in 2025, the theater festival, I will be working in the poetry department or component of it, and trying to spearhead and run that whole thing and curate as much good poetry presentations and workshops and shows that intertwine poetry and theater together that maybe people have never seen, maybe some have, but you haven't seen it done by us. And so I'll be spearheading that and curating that and making sure that the poetry portion of the festival is on point and ties in with the theater things that are going on during that whole week and weekend.
That's what's up. So poetry and theater.
Yeah.
Can you just give me some background of how that works for you as Joe P? Like, why poetry, why theater? Like, how do those two things intersect?
Nah, that's a great question. It's basically my life. So I grew up doing theater all my life, with my father being into theater and being a professor of theater and also being in church. I've grown up literally being on stage and doing stage work or being behind scenes and working that part of stage since I was like 4 or 5 years old, and grown into that, becoming a professional theater actor and working in that aspect. And it wasn't until I graduated from college in 2005 and moved back to Houston in like 2007, and I started going out to the poetry scene and getting involved. And I went to go see my friend at first that was performing, a guy named Derek, and saw him spit and saw other poets spit, and it just totally blew my mind of what I thought poetry was and how it was. I thought it was, you know, the rivers and the mountains all pour into your eyes, which is you. And so you had to have that. But when I went to this spot with my Black Snow, I went to the Hood Poetry Night first at Mr. A's. That was like one of my first poetry experience. I'm like, okay, you know,
we got that milk.
So I got fried chicken cooking over here on the side. I got people up here talking about real-ish, you know, real stuff that I could relate to, and it wasn't just far off poetry. That wasn't something that wasn't a part of who I am or something that I feel like I couldn't relate to. So just building off of that, I just grew more into writing my own stuff and then going to start to perform at the different spots, and then my poetry career just started to grow from that.
Other poets be wondering why people pay me what they pay me. I tell them because it's like fine dining, the way that this art gets served. You see, I take my time with each piece that I create. I dig deep within myself when I write, because to me, that shallow fake. You see, I'm an old soul with the look and the energy of a young cat. I get bored with uninspiring poems and whack raps. Artists out here prostituting their art for $25 and some hand claps.
And performing at many different spots, hooked up with my brother Seven, ended up running a spot with him, Poetry Lounge, for about a good 10 years.
Bamboo Lounge, man.
From Shadow Bar to Bamboo to Sugar Hill to
I was around
all the places that we and I love doing that because people have different times that they were, you know, they were involved. And for me, my highlight was Bamboo and Engine Room. We were in Engine Room sometimes too, but Bamboo was like the prime years for me, because that was like we were averaging like 300 people a Sunday, and the stage set up,
a good location, man,
great location. And so I was still doing both. So there'll be times that you know how it is in theater. Once we book a show, we gone for about 2 months, and I would have to lead the poetry scene for about 2 months because we rehearsing on Sundays and things like that. and then I got Showtime. And so then when I didn't have a theater show, I go do poetry and just run that up. And so I just kept trying to find ways of how I could intertwine the two. And so it got to the point where I wrote a show called Love, Pain, Passion, and Progress, which dealt with having poetry in a theater-like setting.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight you will experience something you are not used to, a poetry production that's far from the usual.
You see, I don't know if y'all know the type of running I'm talking about. When you work so hard for something to the point you almost pass out. Working hard because you love it and not for the cash out. I was always told to set goals for yourself and then dash out. And don't stop till it's over. And yeah, y'all, sometimes I know it feels like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders. But once you find your purpose for running, you won't mind carrying that boulder. And then you'll see where you're headed and see that your destiny has already been predestined. So that only leaves me with one question. Will you run?
Down. Half of y'all are in ISS for this very reason now. Now sit down!
Teacher walk up in the class, tell them kiss my ass, say you can't breathe, really? Never pass it down.
Y'all can't be serious!
Sit.
Joe, you are always cunning, and I bet you are the ringleader of this right here.
And so just to say all that, to say what I'm trying to do with this festival and with poetry now is intertwining. So people are so used to seeing poetry as with the host and coming next to the mic, give it up for it, and then snap, 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 and they come up, they perform, and they sit down like a showcase or a talent show. But since this is a theater festival and poetry has been the origin in poetry and theater basically came up together like brothers, in the theater world. And so they've always been used in each other. When you hear something very good that's written in theater, you say that's what? Very poetic. You know what I'm saying? Or, when somebody's really performed something that's real good in poetry, it's very theatrical to you. That's brought you in to make you listen to the poetry. So just bringing those two worlds together and having poetry, but putting it in a set and not having, the host, but having it transition and move kind of like a play does. And it just, for what it has done for people is it makes the poetry clearer to them. They get to understand what the poet was trying to say, because now you have a visual picture of what they're also saying along with the words.
Alive, bro, as a witness to
So
one
that's
of them
basically
shows,
what I want to do. And
alive.
I want to start this. And I know people probably across the nation are probably somewhere doing this somewhere, wherever they are. But it ain't done by me. And so what we're trying to do is take poets, take their work, bring it to life, put it on a stage, and actually build it out to a show that can run just like a theater show for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however, and not just, because you see a poet one time, hear that poem, and boom, that's gone, and you probably never knew, you just stuck, like, man, you remember that one poem?
He did.
So with this, I can bring somebody back the next week or bring them back that next day, and they can see that same show that I got to experience and witness that poetry. And as poets, you get to learn how to act, and as actors, you get to learn how to be a poet. So it's really just learning and merging those two genres, and they both highlight each other so well that I think it works beautiful.
Sound like a fusion that needed to happen. That hasn't
I didn't know why it didn't happen. I felt like it had been, but people just didn't make it as obvious. I feel like people put poetry in theater all the time, but they never just thought, let me get with the actual poetry community or industry and world and actually work with them and adding these theatrical things, these elements that we use for theater to make words come alive. I could use that same stuff for poetry, and I don't know why people haven't thought of that more. Some people have, and they're doing it with film and video and things like that. But I feel like with the live component, you can do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what's up, man. So, as a actor myself, man,
yes,
a
good actor, a great actor.
I'm trying to work. That's all I'm trying to do, y'all. I'm just
he
trying
works
to
a lot.
Try to get some work, man.
He's never not working.
If you ever want to hire me, you can call me or email me. Just let me know. We can talk about it. I promise you, we can talk about it.
He's gonna negotiate his price price to him and let y'all know. Brandon gonna negotiate his price.
Look, they got a lot of prices set already. I don't. But anyway,
Moving on.
But yeah, moving. You know, as an actor, you search for backstories. It's like a part of life. So when I sit down with people, I kind of wanna find the backstory of how things work, or just try to get like one little random tidbit of information about the person. So I did a little searching through the grapevine.
Okay, Vlad TV.
Yeah, but ain't nobody going to jail. Man. We just talk about Fade to Black. Okay. But I have come to learn that one of your very first shows was Cats, directed by your dad. So knowing that, man, and that being like your genesis, like take me back to Cats, to Joe P now. Like what is that journey arc? Like what is that from? Like from Cats to now and let me know like what you're doing now, like how that translate back.
That's good. Yeah, that's a great question. That's good research, brother. That's good research right there. Yeah, I mean, to take you back to that point, my father moved, my parents actually moved to Texas. My mom got a job at Brentwood, being like one of the first women preachers that have ever been down here to come preach. She couldn't even preach from the pulpit at the time. They used to make her preach from the choir stand just because they felt women weren't allowed in the pulpit at the time. But she built that up. My father was on tour with a show that was on Broadway called Emergency Room at the time, and touring with them. My mom got pregnant with me. His mom told him, take your butt home and raise your kid. Stop trying to become a famous actor. Yeah. And so he came here, and so what he tried to do in this new landscape of place that he had never been, because he comes from Alabama, moved to New York, and then ended up in Houston, Texas. He tried to do theater, and so he tried to do theater wherever he could, and so he hooked up with George Hawkins, who was over at the ensemble, did things with him. He taught at TSU, taught at HCC, but he also started a summer program that he would do in the summers in Missouri City, at the Civic Center in Missouri City, and so he would always do a production at the end of the program in the summer. And so one of my first productions, because I used to go with him when he was teaching and watch the older kids that he would work with and do productions with them. And so finally came time I could be in the program, and our first show was Cats. And so I was in a leotard. I had ears, I had whiskers, I had a little tail. Not understanding as a young boy.
But just the fact
I didn't know I was doing
one of the most
famous Broadway shows in the world. To me, I was like, why are we acting like cats? And
that's what they was doing.
and so, but nah, that production and doing that gave me the bug, and I knew from then on that I wanted to be on stage or in front of people and entertain. And it's just
whether I'm a cat or not.
And that's just been the course of my life ever since. Like, I've tried to go the opposite way of doing other things. I wanted to be in the NBA, but I stopped growing, and I really ain't had a skill set either, so I ain't gonna just leave it at the height. But
it just stopped growing. Like, maturity happened.
Yeah, 10th grade,
I've grown up.
I've been the same height since 10th grade, so it was like. But what I was always good at while playing basketball was talking noise and entertaining people while on the court, or being funny, being the class clown or whatnot, what you would say. And I wasn't the class clown that would get in trouble and get kicked out of the class.
Well,
I'd be the type that I'd probably get the teacher on my side too and get them going and get them laughing too, because I tried to work inside with the teacher.
I'm glad this interview is about you.
Yeah. There were some kids that worked against the teacher, to try to put the teacher down, but I tried to work with the teacher. Now, some teachers might feel different, after seeing this or whatever, but, in my mind, I felt like I was helping them out.
Water under the bridge.
But that's just been the course of my life. And so I tried to be a party promoter and things like that, but I've always just been pulled back to the stage and to performing and to being involved. So even if I was doing clubs, I go see a show, and just seeing a show would make me, want to be back on stage again. Next thing I know, I'd be auditioning for whatever was coming up next. And so just doing that, hooking up with the ensemble when I moved back, and basically giving them good 8-9 years of my life of performing and doing children's theater on the main stage, and to teaching, to where I branched off and started working at all the other theaters here in Houston once they, discovered who we are, even though we've been working at the ensemble for years. But yeah, once they discovered us, and just working all those theaters and just trying to keep evolving with each point in my life, man. So I did work all these theaters, and I just always try to think the next year, what can I do to grow past what I've done? Because I don't think actors understand you can't get stuck in that cycle of doing the same thing year after year after year, and then you look up and you're 40, 50 years old and wondering,
You've done a lot, but you've done the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So not to say that that's bad. For some people, that's what they want to do. But for me, I do try to always evolve. And so that has led me into actually working with an artist now named Tobe Nwigwe, working behind scenes with him, just helping him execute his visions. He has a lot of great visions and things that come to him that he needs help to knock out. And, we take that and run with it and try to knock it out. So from creative assistant directing to ADing a few video projects, I've done that, to stage managing the ballet that the Black Angels just did at the Wordham, and working with Steph Curry, Ryan Coogler, and all these different entities and people have been amazing thing to be a part of, to witness, to experience, to watch him grow and catch momentum and take off has just been a great opportunity to, have a backseat ride in and, help out where I can with that.
Man, I mean, that's a hell of a journey, bro. Right? You think about it like that's why I had to ask, like, from Cats to now, like, you know what I mean? Like when you encompass that in like one bottle, bro, it's like damn, like.
Yeah, you don't realize it. And I think a lot of actors get caught up in like, I gotta make it, be successful instantly. And I think for me in my life has been a series of successful things happen. It just hasn't been one big success, like, you made it. But there's been, if I build up on all the successes that I've had, I will say that I've had a successful
I got
career.
a whole bookshelf now, right?
You got a whole thing of success. If you look at it like that, now if you just try to be like, I ain't made it, I ain't this, but I try to, it's always perspective to me. So for somebody that ain't been on the main stage show at the ensemble or somewhere before, to them, we are, gods or whatever, we are the top tier, whatever it is. And for people that ain't been, here, it's just all perspective. So I'm grateful for every part of my journey. It has led me to, where we am now.
I can't sit here without saying I'm grateful too. Like, as a young actor coming up in the world, man, like, I mean, like, just working different places and not knowing anything at all about anything, really, like, coming from one of the first people I actually met and talked to, man, like in the back of the theater at the ensemble, was Joe P. And I mean, like, the amount of things you said and knowledge of things that I had no clue of at all, and like how things should work, how things shouldn't work. Like, even if they tell you that it's this way, like, it's really not supposed to be this way. Like, just the amount of things that I personally am eternally grateful. Like, I could never forget, like, like just knowing all of that. It's like, damn, like, cause not knowing nothing and just listening, like, and it wasn't like you were just talking around and I'm like in a conversation. Like, you're like looking at me, telling me like bits of information, like, hey, take this with you for for later. So just so you know, like keep that in your pocket because it shouldn't, work this way or work that
And
way.
here's the crazy part, bro. Like
20, 24, 23.
Yeah. And I made that speech many times to many different people, but a lot of people didn't take that information and run with it. And what I always loved about you since the day I met you is like you've been a go-getter for whatever you want. From the times you always wanted the information. Like you wasn't like,
for sure.
oh man, this nigga Joe talking. You was like, you would always be sitting there like, tell me some more. And just how you done made it in the game from the time when I just used to tell you about auditions. Like if y'all know about Brandon, I would tell Brandon about auditions I was going to
wrong,
and he would just show up.
Hey, that's how I got my first like real show at a like real theater equity house. Like I'll never forget, it was Love and Information.
I told him, well, hey, just come.
He's like, man, I'm going to this audition. I was like, dang, for real? Like, how they tell you about it? He's like, they just email. I was like, well, like, why I don't get no emails? Like, what I gotta do to get them to email me? Like, how does this work? He's like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's at this, like, even being so giving with the information too, because I'm the same way now. Like, if you know me, I'll tell you about anything that's going on that I'm gonna be at or not gonna be at. Like, I ain't withholding no information. Like,
but the fact you took that info, bro, and you showed up,
I pulled up,
and you got the part. You got the part over me. They called me in. So that's what I'm saying, like that. And it's the same thing happened with me and our good friend KB. Like KB put me on an email that he had received for an audition at Stages for Whipping Man. I end up just showing up randomly to that audition and beat out everybody that was there and got the part. And that was my introduction into all those theaters outside of the ensemble, was because we just had it in our head that we wanted to go get this and wasn't nobody gonna stop me from getting, because I just need our talent. We just gotta be seen.
It ain't even about like where are you working? It's just like, if I'm not working here, then why I'm not working over there? You know what I mean? Like I think it just simply comes down to that. Like, regardless of what the show is or who I am, whether I'm black, purple, green, like if I ain't working over here, I need to be working over there. And that is just that simple. Like because the point is I need to be working. Like that's just, like,
what happened when we used to have to wait around, man, for y'all to pick one black person a year
no other
to be,
working is essential.
So, and I'm glad to see how the landscape has grown, because remember, bro, we used to have to wait to February to get in a show at Alley or Stages or any of these other theaters, and then or Christmas,
Black people seem real good.
Exactly, or Christmas. But, we always had a home at the ensemble, which I appreciated, but it was like we wanted more of Houston.
I just wanted more of all the things. Like, I want to
be afforded all the things that everybody else is afforded.
All of them. I want to be just as well rounded as everybody else too.
Exactly.
Like I could do the period pieces or the Shakespeare or the what the English shows. Like all of it.
And I like playing a young black man, like I actually am too. So y'all also, can do shows that actually, relate to who we really are. Because y'all do it for other people,
I think I probably played somebody my age on maybe like once or twice.
I don't think I ever have.
That's crazy. Like my real actual age. Yeah. Like it's just.
No, I get told all the time I can't play the age that I actually am.
Yeah, well, that's a good segue. So, like, that brings me to my next point. Like, in your opinion, in our city here in Houston, like, what do you think is the state of artistry, or in my specific interest, theater, in this city, like in Houston? Like, what is the state of where we are?
Clear and upfront, it's not where it was. I will say it has grown exponentially in where it was when I first entered it in like 2006, 2007, and what I could see on stage at different places and what I couldn't see on stage. So from that aspect and that perspective, I think Houston theater scene has grown tremendously. I think we've birthed even other little theaters that have now become, mainstay theaters here in the city, and to watch them, come to be, it shows you that the theater industry is growing. Theaters have tried to do certain things, and I think they have taken some chances that they wouldn't have before, but to me, where it currently is now, I think we've reached a point of stagnation, of where we're not moving up or down. I don't think we're getting better or worse. I think we're just happy with where we are and the success that we achieve. And so a lot of theaters are just sticking to the guns of what works for them and what their crowd likes, and not really trying to broaden outside of what they feel their mainstay crowd likes. So which really shutters a lot of different projects that all these theaters could be doing and the different audiences that they could be trying to gear for. I kind of feel like they get lazy with, especially trying to go for the African American audience, trying to understand, the direction and the vision of what these theaters are trying to do in Houston, because there's so much talent that's in this city that leaves from this city because of the circles and the small groups and the associations that everybody have, and the fact that,
like you said, it's stagnant. It's not that there's not more to get. It's just we've made it to this point now that is way farther than we have ever been. And it's like I think we can settle here for a minute. But like you look and you like, wait, but there's so much more ahead though. Like there's so much more that needs to be done and that can be done, and we just kind of just chilling right here because we taking a break. Like we made it far enough. Let's take a breather.
And not saying you have to have all black shows, but at least have shows that still tell the stories of other people besides the demographic that you're usually going for. And there's many stories out there, and what happens is when I tell theaters this, they'll quickly hit me back with, what play? Tell me some plays. And now you want me to do the work for you, rather than you have whole committees that go out here and find all these other shows and plays that you do. That same committee can turn their direction towards just straight African American plays or African American playwrights, and actually
say that about movies, bro. It's like I say it gracefully though. Like you can watch a movie of an entire white cast and not see one black person. But if you watch a black movie, there will be white people in it. You know what I mean? Like
somewhere.
That's
we don't have a world that's all black, even in the hood.
I mean, like it's crazy to know that. Like the inclusiveness of uninclusiveness.
Right. And it's really just being genuinely committed to wanting to do that work, and not just trying to say it like a politician, like, yeah, or I want to get a grant for that year because you put in, or you had this many, African American or Latino things going on, but really being committed to, hey, this is the work that we want to do. This work lives here at the theater. It's something that you, whenever you come to this theater, it's an extension of something that you can also experience here. The same thing that geared you to bring all those other demographics in, you could do the same thing with our group, and that's by telling stories that we can relate to. And you have the people that can perform in those stories. You have the people that can direct those stories. You have the people even in the city that can write those stories.
In this city alone.
So it's just about doing that work. So I have hope for the theater scene here. I haven't been a part of it probably for a year now, which to me is good and bad. I was able to hop out of that cycle, because what I feel like the theaters here like to do is keep artists in a cycle of waiting to figure out when their next job is going to be, instead of guaranteeing them. And then there's some artists and actors out here that get that courtesy of knowing, oh, you're going to be doing 2, 3, 4 shows this year from whichever theater they're tied to. But for us, and we've been putting in work for years and made names for these theaters for years, the fact that I can't get that type of guarantee or that type of consideration or confidence in knowing that I'm going to be working each year after putting in almost 15 years of work, just makes me want to hop out the cycle of doing it and see what else I can evolve into.
Yeah. I understand that. I totally understand that, man. It's like what's the point of doing such good work if no one wants the work? Like, what's the
nobody's gonna see, or if the same people are gonna keep seeing it, which happened what I felt happened at the poetry scene. Till it got to the point where poets were performing for poets, you know, and not actual, you know, audience. And I got, you know, 15 people in the audience saying my whole poem with me because they done heard this poem 15 times, you know, and I'm always just about the evolution and the growth of something and not being stagnant. I've never been able to be stagnant. I can be stagnant for a while, but eventually I'm gonna break out of that cycle and go do something else if I don't see any growth in the possibility of what's going on. So that's my thing with poetry, with theater, is to just try to get in, disrupt, shake up the status quo of things, and try to do different things. And what I think we're gonna have to do as artists, and what we have done, what we continue to do, is produce and perform our own works and put out our own type of thing, so we can have a voice in this world and not be forced to be quiet because we're waiting on other people to give us a platform.
So in that breath, like, I mean, producing your own work, it kind of gives me my next segue into like a little thing we like to do here is fade it forward, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like any type of advice, gesture, or nugget of gold that can be given to you, from you, to anyone else, or some specific genre of people, or anything, just any type of little tidbit you can pass forward.
So for all my actors, this is what I would say. This is from actor to actor. Never stop doing the work. Never stop working. You're always learning. Sitting at the bus stop, you're learning. Sitting in a waiting room watching different people, you're learning. Go to shows, learn. Watch TV, learn. Watch movies, learn. You're always a student of what's going on. So even I've been acting my whole entire life. There's still things that I'm continuing to add to my arsenal of acting skills that I didn't have before, that I do have now, that have grown me to become a better performer and a better actor. So you're not just stagnant in being who you are or who you think you are right now. There's potential for you to be even better or even greater. As a business person, as a producer of your own work, don't take the first no that you receive. The first no that you really receive is usually because the person doesn't want to do it or is too lazy to do it. And so what I have realized with working with Tobe is he doesn't accept the first no. We don't accept the first no that we're given. We approach it differently. We might ask you differently and to get a different answer. But either way, we're not just going to leave with the no, because that no might just be you not feeling like doing it. And so if I present it a different way, where I've taken you out of the equation, or I'm making the work not on you, but we still making what we need happen, then that no changes to, all right, then if y'all gonna do it that way, then cool. And now I've gotten accomplished what I think. And a lot of that, a lot of these places that you work with or partner with will try to tell you, no, that can't be done, or no, I don't think we can do that. Don't take that first no. Really try to fight for what you want to make your art the best art that it can be, because this is your vision, your art, your artistry. And if you really want it to be the way and want people to see it the way that you meant for them to see it, then you got to fight for that, because people will fight against you to make your stuff become something that they already do. And you might be trying to do something that's totally out the box from that. So stick to your guns. Don't accept that first no.
Man, that boy spitting. That boy spitting. Facts. No printer. Find that phone number, man. Yo, Joe. It is always a pleasure to talk to you, bro. Like in front of some microphones, cameras, as we have.
You know, that's how we talk just regular when we stand in front of the theater or behind the theater.
In front of or sitting in front of some microphones doing the same thing. Like this ain't the first time.
Actors Quarantine Corner.
Actors Quarantine Corner. It's still on YouTube. You can go find it.
You can go watch that.
Yep, you really can.
Yeah, a lot of y'all stealing stuff from it.
Don't forget. We see y'all, bro. We see y'all. It ain't. Just, look.
Because all these theaters miraculously got podcasts now.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
So we're just talking about the show.
Yeah.
Where we got that idea from.
Yeah.
So instead of calling us in to do it, you did it yourself.
It's all right. It's all right. We're work it out. Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure, bro, as always.
This has been great.
Thank you for your artistry. Thank you for having you on. And wish you all luck on this poetry division for the FTB Fade to Black.
I think it's gonna be great, bro.
It's gonna be amazing. Like I keep telling people, like, the city needs it, the people need it, the artists need it. I mean, it is.
I think
I can't even express how much it's
I think Denise is taking a very bold step in just trying to do this, because so many people are gonna be like, you should do it this way and this way. So just even taking the step forward to be the person that's gonna
already gonna be done this way.
Because the first person over the hill is gonna catch all the arrows. So just her knowing that she's gonna be that person and she's still willing to go through this process and try to make this, festival happen. I think that's amazing of her, and it just shows how outstanding a person she is, and the company of Fade to Black that she is built with the help around her that has helped make this what it is too.
Well, I mean, you in the mix too. So I think it sounds like the team is happening, man. So yeah, man,
she in good company.
Yeah, good to have you here, man. And once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Once again, I am your host, Brandon Morgan, in the Fade, all things Fade to Black 2025. We will catch you later next time. Peace.
8 times back.
Corey, we done. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Actors Quarantine Corner. Y'all know what it is. Every Monday night, 9 p.m. CST. It's in the CONER, baby. You know what it is.
Yes, sir.
That's corner for y'all.
I was about to say, not how you spell it.
CONCOR,
huh?
Oh,
everybody knows exactly right. That's what I'm saying. Hey,
corner next. CONER. Cone. I really told you it ain't. You were getting from the CONER. I'm corner. It's a different corner. CONER. Actors Quarantine Corner.
Come on, that rhyme with wrong.
Catch me at home.